Hello and welcome to our thought for the day. Our readings are Judges chapter 9, Isaiah chapter 35 and 1 Peter chapter 1. Our thought is born again to a living hope. What a total contrast there is between our readings in Judges chapter 9 and all the conflict and resultant deaths it describes caused by Abimelech, and the living hope of which Peter writes at the start of his first epistle. The spirit that Abimelech created all around him has considerable comparison with life around nearly all the world today. Peter addresses his letter to the exiles of the dispersion. This would be the Jewish dispersion, and of course written to those who are elect. Chapter 1 and verse 1. Elect is a significant word. We do not use it in normal conversations, although when we have an election, of course, there's lots of comment about those who are elected. But whoever is elected, not one of them can give us a living hope, as Peter says in verse 3. The world can only provide a dead hope, which is no hope at all. This life is all there is. And how short may this become as the human pathway appears to be going more steeply downhill into utter godlessness. Remember what we read yesterday in James chapter 5, verse 1, 5 and 9. Weep and howl for the miseries that are coming. You have lived in luxury and in self-indulgence. The judge is standing at the door. Very few years after James wrote this, the nation came to an end, and Jerusalem was destroyed. In contrast, Peter tells his readers, the believers, that God has caused us to be born again to a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead, to inheritance that is imperishable. Verse 4. Peter then says, this inheritance is kept in heaven for you, ready to be revealed in the last time. Verse 5. Those who read the scriptures carefully know that genuine believers do not go to heaven to receive it. The last chapter in the Bible, verse 22, says, Behold, I am coming soon, bringing my recompense with me, to repay each one for what he has done. The recompense or reward is given to believers on earth. Jesus taught, Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Matthew 5 and verse 5. Let us make sure we have been born again to a living hope, a spiritual rebirth, which we outwardly witnessed by our baptism. They showed this day on the day of Pentecost, when they were cut to the heart at the preaching of Peter, Acts 2 and verse 37, and said to Peter and the rest of the apostles, Brothers, what shall we do? And so they went down into the water and were baptized. They were born again to a living hope. There are increasing signs that the coming of Jesus is close. And then he will repay each one for what he has done. All those who have been born again to a living hope, followed by a life of commitment in service to Christ, will have prayerful confidence as what their reward will be. Thank you once again for listening to us this morning on Thought for the Day, and we hope that you have a living hope, being born again in Christ Jesus. God bless.